Wow. What a freaking ending to that game that was, huh? My goodness. Robert Suarez just loses it. Padres, they have a 5-3 lead there. And Robert Suarez comes in the game, replaces Jason Adam, and he got an out. And then after that, it fell apart. Luis Rengifo with a single, wild pitch, and then Ohapi walks. Okay, right there, if you're the Padres, if you're Mike Schilt, I think you got to sit there and be like, all right, Robert, he does not have it tonight. Because Robert Suarez, he still has velocity, which he did today, but usually he has velocity and it's near the strike zone or he's attacking the zone. Here, this entire time, essentially, almost the entire time, it was fastball up out of the zone. It was changeup spiked in the dirt. He just did not have it. And so, why was Alec Jacob not warming up when Logan Ohapi walked? Maybe he was, and the broadcast didn't show it, but I'm pretty sure they showed it when I think it was during the Nolan Shanwell at bat. But Ohapi walked. Clearly, Suarez doesn't have it. Walks Zach Neto. Walks Shanwell. And now it's 5-4. Walks Moncada. And by the way, should have walked Moncada pitches before he actually did because Moncada was swinging at pitches that were at his head at eye level. I don't know what Moncada was, protecting. I get it. There were 2 strikes, but they were not close to the zone. And so Suarez got bailed out a little bit there until he actually walked Moncada. And that made it 5-5. But yeah, 4 consecutive walks. It took 4 consecutive walks for Schilt to go out there and pull Robert Suarez. And part of it, yeah, because it took time for Alec Jacob to warm up. But why did it take that long for Alec Jacob to get up in the first place? I asked on social media, and I think people were saying, there's no one left in the bullpen. It's like, well, clearly there was Alec Jacob. Now, my argument isn't as strong because Alec Jacob then went and gave up a grand slam. But he did get a quick out when he came into the game. He struck out Jorge Soler, who obviously is a power threat. And then to Taylor Ward, he left to major leaguers, it's like a high school pitcher to them, probably. Just meatball. Didn't have a ton of break on it. And Taylor Ward, obviously knowing the scouting report, Alec Jacobs not going to blow you away with velocity. And Taylor Ward smacks it out of the yard to left field for a granny. And that was it. But yeah, I know that we are very, and I say we as just people, fans of all sports really in general. We are really recency bias, right? Like this is the worst loss of the season and all that. But right now, and maybe it is recency bias, but right now, I don't think that it is. I think that, yeah, it is the worst loss. Now, you could say, well, Ben, how about yesterday when they lost to the freaking Rockies, who were already going to fire Bud Black probably regardless of the result because they won and they fired him? You lost to that team, maybe the worst team in baseball history. That's a worse loss than this. But what I would say there is it was at Coors Field. The Padres didn't have a 5-3 lead going into the 9th inning. They didn't have a Tatis homer in this game. They didn't have a Jackson Merrill amazing diving catch in this game to preserve it. I should say they didn't have that in yesterday's game. They had that tonight. Nando, Merrill coming through, the Angels making mistakes and helping the Padres, get the lead with Kikuchi forgetting how to field the ball and then forgetting how to throw it to first base on target. They were being given some of this stuff, and they should have won the game. You had Robert Suarez in there, but it's a team sport, and it's going to happen. It happens to every reliever. Now, I'm not going to say 4 walks in a row happens to every elite closer, but every elite closer will have a bad night. You don't have a great night every time out. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen with any player in baseball. Baseball's a hard game, but it's a team game as well. And that's what is so great about it, and that's what freaking sucks about it on a night like tonight because there were a lot of people that came through offensively and with the pitching. Estrada, Morhone, Adam, not giving up any earned runs there. And you have your lockdown closer, who I think had led the league in saves going into tonight, I think. And he gets one out. And he walks four guys. Shouldn't have even walked four guys because he shouldn't have even gotten to that opportunity in the first place. I love Mike Schilt. Love Ruben Niebla, but I don't understand that one tonight. I listened to the post game. That's why this is a little bit later because I was waiting for the Schilt post game. He didn't, unless I'm forgetting, because I was trying to pay attention to the questions. Sometimes can't totally hear the questions on the Padres TV post game broadcast, but maybe Ace will have it later or something. But it didn't seem like he elaborated too much on why he waited so long to go to Alec Jacob. But I think that's the burning question tonight. Because like Robert Suarez, and Schilt's going to back him, obviously. I wasn't surprised by Schilt's answer post-game. Of course, Schilt's going to, be like, yeah, Robert, this is like once in a, I forget what Schilt exactly said, but once in, forever. Like, this doesn't happen. Robert Suarez has been great. And Schilt he's not just being Mike Schilt by doing that. He's being accurate when he says that. Of course. I think, 90+% of Padre fans were confident in Robert Suarez going into tonight because of what he's done so far this year. And I think this just shows how good he has been. His ERA after tonight, 5 earned runs tonight, a third of an inning. His ERA is 3, which is better than probably a lot of relievers in baseball. After a terrible performance that would make relievers' ERAs probably like 7, 8 in baseball, and it's 3 for Suarez. That's how good he's been. He's allowed 1 or more runs in 2 outings this year, and today was the second outing. The only other time was April 27th against the Rays. Other than that, every single outing, no earned runs. He's been great. So for those that, and I've already gotten messages about Robert Suarez. Let me find this one. I'm not going to say who it is. Well, I don't even know who it is because it's not like their actual name. But there was someone that DM'd me and said Robert Suarez is so trash. Those overreactions, you can save it with those overreactions. Like, we can be pissed off about tonight, but to say Robert Suarez is trash is just simply inaccurate. Have I lost confidence in Robert Suarez after tonight? No. It's one outing. If he does this a few more times consecutively and it's consistent where he's not able to find the strike zone, okay. But the velocity was still there, and he's been phenomenal. So I think it would be kind of stupid for me to sit here and be like, yeah, my confidence is gone with Robert Suarez. That just doesn't make sense. It's going to happen. Go look around baseball. It's going to happen to every reliever in baseball. They're going to have a bad outing. As bad as 4 walks in a row, like I said earlier, maybe not. But that reliever probably isn't even given the shot to go 4 times in a row. Walk 4 guys in a row, I should say. But I think that also, backs up the point of how good Robert Suarez has been, that the Padres had the faith in him, or, well, Jacob just wasn't warmed up in time. But, I think part of it is why you don't get Jacob up earlier is because you have the faith that Robert Suarez would turn it around. But I think anyone watching, it's just like, especially with relievers, starters, may not have a great first inning, but you can settle down. There's more of a chance for you because you're going to go more innings. But with a reliever, when it's 1 inning pretty much for everyone, when you don't have it, it's pretty clear you don't have it. You're not really going to save yourself in the middle of an inning when you can't locate. Fastballs up and away, changeup spike in the dirt. It just clearly doesn't have it, and you're not going to find it in the middle of an inning. Mountain visits were taken. Did that work? No. I don't know what Robert Suarez was thinking when he wasn't being able to locate. He was probably like, what the heck is going on? I know I can do this. I'm one of the best closers in baseball. Like, what is going on here? Because it's got to be a really, really sucky feeling to know how to do your job. You're elite at your job. And for some reason, you can't do your job well that day. Your mind, and then maybe you're going through that in your head in between pitches, and your mind is just effed. You're just done. I don't know if anyone else has gone through that. I know not as a professional pitcher, but maybe in whatever other job you have. But that's got to be rough. Like, you know how to do it, you know what to do, and for some reason you just can't do it that day. And there's no one to go save you because they weren't warming Alec Jacob up, a couple batters in when Suarez didn't have it, or a few batters in, I should say, when Suarez didn't have it. And there's only so many mound visits that can be taken, and there's no clock. You can't just run the clock out. You got to deliver the pitches. You got to throw it in the strike zone. For the most part, some Angels guys were swinging out of the strike zone, but you got to throw strikes, throw it over the plate. You got to get the outs. And that's the beauty of baseball, and that's what also sucks sometimes about baseball when you're on the losing side like tonight. But that's going to happen. The Padres season is not over, despite what you may see tonight on social media. Encouraging that, the big guys in this order, Merrill having a great night, 3 for 4, scored a couple of runs, drove in a run, great diving catch in center. I was listening on the radio during that time, but Jesse called it great. And then to go back and watch that play, I mean, that there are some guys, that they dive, and did they really have to dive? No, this was full extension, had to dive, barely got it, and saved what would have been the game tying run at that point. Morhone was on the mound, so great job from him. Manny made at least one, maybe a couple really good plays over there at third. So look, again, like the Padres, they should have won the game, and it all fell down in that ninth inning. And Suarez having the bases loaded for Jacob to come into the game. Now Jacob can't make any mistakes, because if he does, well, we just saw what happened. And it's a homer to left. Yesterday was one of those with the Rockies, like flush it, move on, because it's at Coors Field. It's still a 6-3 road trip. Pavetta doesn't pitch well at Coors Field. He even said post-game, like, hey, let's flush it. Here, I would like to just flush this game as well. Maybe some would disagree, and you can let me know, but I'm going to flush this game because Robert Suarez isn't going to do that every night. Now, I may be proven wrong here over the next couple weeks if he continues to struggle, and then I will say, well, no, shouldn't have flushed that game. But today, I'm okay with still just flushing this game. I understand that you're going to be disappointed. Yeah, freaking sucked watching that. Like, when a guy cannot throw strikes and you're pitching in the major leagues, it's beyond frustrating, especially when it's Suarez and he's so good. And when you can't throw strikes, the inning just feels like it goes on for an hour, those half innings. And you're just every pitch, as more guys are getting on base, counts are getting deeper in the favor of Angels hitters, and there's one walk, scores a run, and you're just like, he's not going to find it. What's happening here? Are we going to bring someone else in? He doesn't have it. Next pitch, oh yeah, still doesn't have it. So it's beyond frustrating, but it is still 1 of 162. And after tonight, the Padres, they are 25-15. I would like to think this game is not the end of the world. I know things can happen and every game matters, obviously. And yes, they should have won this game. But I think it's still pretty easy for me, at least, to look positively at this and be like, "Hey, we're frustrated because of how good Suarez has been, not because he's continuing to struggle." And there's a difference there, and it could be the other way.